party sola, 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 sola. Sola, 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 sola. Sola, 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 sola. When I see you dancing, I'm like, hola, 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 hola. See you move fancy, make me wanna hola, 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 hola. I got your attention, spending that moolah, 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 moolah. I'm a drop in party, sola, 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 sola. Your attention, spending that moolah, 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 moolah. I'm a drop top in party, sola, 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 sola. Sola, 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 sola. Sola, 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 sola. Sola, 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 sola. Sola, 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 sola.
Oh, you tell me stories, you tuck me in, and the second you leave, I call you right back to check for monsters in my streets. Yeah, high school was hard. You'd fight with my mom, I'd fall asleep to the screaming, sound machine always speaking, left emotional scars. Now I'm 21, a soul of 50 years. And now that you are gone, I'm doing things that I shouldn't know from. I'm doing things that I shouldn't do. At 21, a soul of 50 years. And now that you are gone, I'm doing things that I shouldn't know from. I'm doing things that I shouldn't do. At 21. At 21. I'm doing things that I shouldn't do. At 21. I'm just a kid. Oh, I'm doing things I shouldn't know from. Yeah, doing things I shouldn't do. At 21. Yeah, I play you my favorite songs on a car ride while you list me all the people that left you in your life. Oh, oh, oh. And you smoke on your chair while I was trying to sleep. I smell the smoke in the air, but that was normal for me. I didn't know, I didn't know. But now I'm 21, a soul of 50 years. And now that you are gone, I'm doing things that I shouldn't know from. I'm doing things that I shouldn't do. At 21, feels like I'm 50. And now that you are gone, I'm doing things that I shouldn't know from. I'm doing things that I shouldn't do. At 21. Oh. At 21, at 21, whoa, I'm 21.
Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon, and I end up alone. I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Ain't got no place to call my own. Feels like I'm better off alone. So sad inside and hopeless. These Hollywood hoes never notice. I can't get back on. You're gone, girl, I miss you. I can't get back on. You're gone, girl, I miss you. Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon, and I end up alone. I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon, how'd I end up alone? I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon, how'd I end up alone? I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you're Hollywood perfect. Perfect.
stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from this high. Now with you, now with you, that I get when looking down from this high. Those hands and lights can't stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from this high. Now with you, now with you, can't give up this
I like losing control. I get high when I'm feeling my flow. My mind is focused and I'm ready to go, ready to go. Nah, I like losing control. I get high when I'm feeling my flow. My mind is focused and I'm ready to go, ready to go. Nah, nah.
Oh yeah. Are we talking about losing control? I'm gonna show you how we lose control, baby. Watch this. Look, Marty Mark. Watch the way I start up. I've been going hard, but I can go way harder. Every beat I'm on, yeah, you know that I slaughter. And I'm always looking gorgeous, chilling with somebody's daughter. Yeah, she loving me. Say she love the way my chain sitting.
Yo, what's up guys, let's just kill some music vibes here. It's your boy G, also known as George Smith, GeeMax, however you want to refer to me as. We're back, we're live. We've got a new season of Raceface kicking off, and I mean, we've had brilliant seasons before. Season 5 kicks off now at Misano. Big shout out to our YouTube stream and our viewers. Shout out to L. Patterson, AmpZA, Greg Grossman, all in the chat. What's up, what's up? We are just waiting for the practice or the server to go live. Guys have been practicing, and we will be going over to quali pretty shortly. So I'm excited. I'm excited. We're ready to go on my end. Of course, the entry list today is massive. As far as I understand, it's like 45 cars that have signed up just for the pro splits. I think 170 drivers throughout the series, so absolutely massive. And we are going to go live. We've got a 25-minute quali, an 80-minute race coming up, and mandatory tire changes are going to be there, so the guys have to change those tires. So looking good, looking forward to things. Hopefully you guys can hear me, hopefully loud and clear. We're pretty much just waiting to get confirmation that our race server is live. Drivers are finishing off with their race briefing, so their drivers briefing. Everybody else is pretty much sitting in the drivers briefing channel, and we are ready to go. I think we got live stewards tonight as well. I'm not 100% sure if they're live or if we've got post-race stewards. Let me just double check who's chilling out in the channel. I think we've only got post-race stewarding coming up, so guys have to log their incidents. But yeah, I mean, right now, the drivers briefing channel, you just scroll for days. There are so many drivers signed in right now. We are about to go live. I am amped. This is going to be such a goodie, honestly. Like, this is going to be a goodie. So we, let's see if we can actually put up some of the, let's see if we can see some of the entries and the drivers that have signed up for this season. Let me just pull up my entry list on this side, and let's see what we got cracking. So I mean, I'm gonna pull it up on this side. Yeah, I mean 45 drivers. That's the entry list that's signed in here. Whew. This is going to be absolutely massive. Daniel De Villiers, Bernard Peters, Jason Absmeyer, Tariq Adam, Mark Antal, Johan Bego Grabler, Bernard Barkhazen, Ryan Barrington Smith, Bruno Kedili, Quaid Claessens, Ayrton Contra. I always get Ayrton's surname wrong. He needs to message me on how to say it. Contreras, Victor de Kock, Tristan de Nobrega, Chris de Vet, Christian Deploy, Paul Berger, Jason Gray, Johannes Grayling, JC Grobler, Chris Heineke, Jason Isherwood, Bernard King, Eric Kirsteisen, Etienne Kleb, Lionel Clue, Brandon Kruger, Brian Lewis, Keegan Masters, Junior McCall, Morgan McCall, Tina Nkube, Dievalt Nell, Leslie Oliphant, Kieran Patterson, Christopher Radloff, Daniel Rowe, Sean Skitter, Corne Strauss, Sean Stradum, Richard van Koller, Hannes van Wyk, Arno Versace, Charles Wilkin, and Eugene van Lacherenberg. It's going to be big. It's going to be big. Servers still coming live. My puppy in the background there, just chilling out, not making a noise. So that's great for us. We did a lot of playtime earlier, so hopefully she lets me do racing. Milo, gotta ask permission. You know, gotta ask permission. There we go. Servers alive. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, we can get our broadcaster tool going. We should be good to go. Here we go. We are going into quali pretty much live, so let's kill some music and let's get into our quali session now. Woo! So here we go. 25 minutes of quali here at Misano for round 1. Looking at Jason Absmeyer, just happened to switch over to my White Rabbit gaming car. Beautiful Ferrari 488 livery as well. Of course, just to fully disclose that bias, of course, the team principal from White Rabbit Gaming. We've got 2 cars entered in on this grid, and we're certainly going to go through a bunch of our drivers here. Quali has literally just gotten going, so we're waiting for drivers to start setting up their first timed laps. 25 minutes, quite a long quali time, so plenty of availability for guys to find the pace that they need. Of course, our sponsors this time around coming out are going to be TGN Racing Simulators, Statement Watches joining into the action, Resource Complete, Black Ribbon Simulations, and in partnership with RCI as always. Kind of messed up my spacing on my overlay, so we just fixed that on the fly. No one can notice it, and definitely we don't notice it at all. So we are live, we're ready to go. Everybody ready to go. Elle asking if my puppy's coming over to the UK. She is. As soon as I'm set up and prepared, Puppy will be joining me in the UK. Would not make those adventures without my doggo. Amp ZA here again, just saying this is going to be good. It really is going to be good. I'm excited. Misano, did a little bit of this for RCI on Monday with Sam Tickle Wright. We're doing a Ferrari 488 Cup series, a 3-race Italian series on Mondays, if you guys do want to tune in and see me doing some stuff. So Arne Visahi going to set a pole sitting lap, a 1:33.219 coming out for the Retro Rainbow number 13, and certainly finding some pace coming up. Jason Absmeyer slots in a 10th off the pace then with a 1:33.4. Daniel Rowe from the G4 Sim Racing team, they just got some lovely liveries designed out by the guys at Yelo Designs. Jonathan Bentz putting in some work, and the G4 Sim Racing team looking oh so fantastic. Sitting in 3rd place at the moment, a 1:33.408. So he is literally just sniffing on the coattails behind Jason's. Couple of thousandths between 2nd and 3rd. JC Hrabler also getting himself up there from the Retro Rainbow team, the 321 Ferrari 488. 3 tenths off the pace, but certainly going to close down that gap. Looking forward to seeing what he does. Tariq Adam, a driver that we certainly are going to get to know a lot more. Ignites ZA on Twitter, and definitely keen to see what this man has to bring. He's joined up with G4 Sim Racing as well in this number 21 Bentley, and of course more liveries designed out by Jonathan Bentz, and I really do like these Yelo designs coming out on the Bentleys. So massive shout out to all the guys putting in work on liveries. It really does go a long way, especially in these series where we do allow you guys to run custom liveries. If you haven't got one designed, you need to get that sorted. Victor de Kock here in that number 90 in 7th place, coming in and getting himself into the top 10 early on here. 7th place then as he crosses over the line, 1:33.9. 1st to 7th place then, less than a second between them, as Barkhazen then slots himself into 7th. Bruno Kadili, he's up there into 6th place in the White Rabbit Gaming McLaren 720S, also one of my team drivers. So Jason and Bruno rocking out here, trying out some different cars for the Raceface season. As you know, no requirement for drivers and teams to lock down into the same cars. I'm sure at some point that might change out, but as it stands now, that's not the case. If you guys can just give me an indication, are we loud and clear? You can hear me. Do we need to up some sound on the sim? Do we need less commentary volume? I just I need a little bit of feedback from you guys. If you can just throw that into the chat box. If you guys haven't left a like, please do so. I see we're up to 12 likes already. Last time we did a like goal, you guys got me a date. I haven't had it yet. I still have to give feedback on it, but appreciate all the likes that you guys throw out on the stream. It's going to be a really good race today. I'm looking forward to it. An hour and 20 minutes, one mandatory stop, a tire change required. I just need to change something on our video options here quickly because we are getting that weird ghosting effect on our cars, and it should now be gone. Okay, so all sorted out. Tristan here for the EKZ RDSA team. Obviously also sponsored out by Black Ribbon Simulations. I know they do have custom liveries. I'm not sure why they don't have them showing up at the moment. So we'll have to check in on that. Let's go and see where our drivers stand further down the order. A couple of drivers not yet getting up to the pace, but I mean, you scroll down the list, 40 drivers are currently in the lobby. So if we go outside of the top 23 here, let's go and look from 24th down. Quite a lot of drivers yet to set a time. 17 minutes on the clock, so plenty of time to still work with. Drivers not too phased about not being up on the board just yet, but Misano is certainly somewhere you don't want to start in the chaotic mid-pack. I feel it's really beneficial getting yourself up towards the front. The first couple of corners here are absolute madness. That double right-hander turns 4 and 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3... Yeah, like 3, 4, 5. It's complete madness and chaos. It's going to be important to get yourself out ahead of the rest. The Kinetic Sim Racing team, they got their custom liveries out and looking very fancy indeed in the triple one is Bernard King as he just disappears into the distance and gets a disconnect from the server. A little bit of Harry Potter going down, kind of evident in the holding screen image we had for the stream. Nkube, a driver I'm not familiar with here, going to be setting his first timed lap very shortly. Where does he get himself when he does go over 3 seconds off the pace, then just behind Eric Kirstein for CMR. If you look down that list of drivers yet to set a lap time, Christoph Wittmark, Antel, Hannes van Veek, Jason Isherwood, Paul Gerber, Kieran Patterson, also not yet setting a time here for PWSR. And again, another livery that wasn't in our livery pack today. So not sure if there's new liveries coming out or we just don't have them loaded through. But L, you give me a shout. We get those liveries sorted out for your team as well. And that goes for anyone else that has a custom livery that isn't displaying in the stream. We'll get them sorted for the rest of the season. Try and get them through to us as early as possible so we can have as many custom liveries from the get-go as possible. SRC here, Bernard Peters. He's looking to set himself a lap time. At the moment, just sitting down in 39th place without setting it. I love the little red accents inside the headlights on this number 28 Porsche. Very few Porsches really entered into this, but you know, all the Porsche boys always getting my support. Bit of a Porsche fan. 15 minutes left on the clock. Then let's look up towards the front of the leaderboard. Then a 133.009 coming out from Visahi. Daniel Rowe going to slot himself up 400 off the pace of Visahi. Very close gap then between Rowe and Visahi. And then JC Hrobler is the bread in that retro sandwich. The bottom layer, Arne Visahi being the top, sitting in third place. With 133.231. So 2/10 off the pace, 3/10 off the pace, Jason Absmeyer, Johannes Grayling. Then for Retro Slipstream, he is going to be 4/10 off the pace. Then we get into the half a second delta times. Diervald Null, Tariq Adam, they're basically half a second off. Then 6/10 off Charles Wilkin coming through. Wilkin back in that signature Lexus, the Team Hulk. We are familiar in seeing him with it, so very, very good to go. He's got the custom liveries on, says Alan. Okay, so custom liveries on. We get that sorted for PWSR going forward. Sean Buck here as well saying, sup, didn't see that earlier on. Greg Grossman shouting for Keegan Masters. Lots of fans for Keegan Masters. We've seen that growing in sim racing as well. I follow his Instagram. Always plug Keegan Masters' Instagram. He doesn't give me any kickbacks, but it's a good place to go and check out for sure. Amp saying that we just hit 400 subscribers. I mean, that's pretty monumental. So thank you guys for helping us reach that goal. 400 subs here, and the Raceface family grows. It's good to have you guys with us. We're here as much as we can be. I know that the Wednesday night series being streamed out by Steven Koenig at the moment, helping out. Oh, the Resource Complete team, Try Hard Racing team, they've got themselves some new liveries. Bego Grabler now in an Audi. And very sticker bomb. They got lots of sponsors going down on their Audi at this point in time. So looking good. Where does Junior go then for ATK Academy? He's going to slot himself up the number 185. Also not with a custom livery in this. So right now, quite a few custom liveries didn't come through. I know in the latest livery pack that we got, there were only a couple. I did add them into the ones that we already had, but just need to make sure that they all link correctly. So Junior McCall, I know that the ATK guys definitely have a really rad custom livery going down. But Junior ahead of his brother then by quite some margin. Where is Morgan sitting at the moment? Morgan down in 30th place, so hasn't quite managed to 31st place, should I say, as Strauss and Kleb slot themselves in. Van Lachrenberg also does so. So a big lap time required here, and he is almost a second up already, coming down into the halfway mark of the circuit. So Morgan McCall needs to get a good quali lap in, and very much needs to get a good quali in here. He's out of position for sure. And we're coming through. Kieran saying they were told no custom liveries were allowed, but the car numbers were also wrong. No, custom liveries definitely only for driver swap events get knocked out. So Morgan McCall gonna mess up the exit there to the final sector of the lap. That's gonna bottle it for him. Not what he needed at all, is it? Coming down into the last 11 minutes of quali. That time ticks down. Let's see who's up on their delta times at the moment. Jason does manage to get himself up into second place then for White Rabbit Gaming. The number 45 slots himself in. I can see the numbers are definitely wrong on the cars. Jason definitely normally runs number 90, but I see that's what Victor was running, so I see the numbers are wrong. Let's have a good race. It's going to be super. Absolutely looking forward to it. And the two G4 Sim cars out together there for a brief moment of time. JC Grabler knocked down then to 5th place. Tariq Adam, he's managed to get himself up into 4th. So that's a big lap coming in from him, a 133.1. Right on the heels then of Jason Absmeyer. Johannes Greyling into 6th place for Retro Slipstream. Kieran, he's got himself into the top 10 here for PWSR. Into 8th place. Bruno Kadili trails behind him in 9th place. 6/10 off the race, or the quali pace that Versace has set so far. What an incredible time coming out from Arno Versace there. Diervold now rounds out the top 10 for Centurion Racing. That's definitely a new team name that we haven't seen before. Maybe also going to have some customs going down, but at the moment the very burnt brown with some gold trim. Wilkin then settles for 11th, it looks like, for now. I'm going to sit in the pits. Christian Deploy going to come down and cross the line to try and better his lap time. Does he? He doesn't. He goes slower on that 1:37.3, so not really onto his race pace. I can tell you right now, the top 10 not yet up on those delta times. Daniel Rowe, however, the only one that seems to be etching into the green deltas, and that's all he really needs. He's trying to find half a hundredth of a second at this point, and coming down into the first sector, 10th up on his lap time already. This is what the Bentley number 78 needs, and what a drive Daniel Rose had for a long time. Chris Heineke's car, I can definitely have a look and switch over to that for you now. Also the same, no livery coming through in that file. I'm gonna 100% check the livery dump file for you as well, and just see if anything came through in that. We do have a Lexus. So who's in the Lexus for PWSR? As far as I can see, that does have a custom livery file sent through. Is it Mark Antal, perhaps? No, he's in Porsche and also not a PWSR driver. Retro Neon was up on his Delta, still up on his Delta. Let's see how he does. 316 is the car number on the site, sitting in 32nd place. 42 cars have lined themselves up. 45 registrations, so the sign-up so far looking good. And the Morgan McCall struggles continue, and more mowing of the track. That Mercedes not responding well, and that's not a good omen to be sitting in at this point in time. Jason Gray also trying to find a little bit more, struggling at the moment. Half a second down on this lap. Chris Heineke up by half a second. So he needs to get himself up that grid order a little bit. Bernard King, also a little bit out of position here in 38th place. Trying to get this Lamborghini to answer a little bit better. And interestingly enough, then Corne Strauss, I think, is our lead Lamborghini driver at this point. EKZBRS Yeet is the team name this time around. And we know the Yeet of Corne Strauss. 136 currently in 26th place, and I think the lead Lamborghini out here, yes, but it is a very dominant Ferrari grid at this point in time in that top 10. Got 6 Ferraris, 2 Bentleys, 1 Mercedes and 1 McLaren. So it's 6 minutes left of quali. Look at this pit exit. Everybody's still trying to get another lap in here and try and get something done. Car numbers fixed for the next race. Absolutely, yes. Let's get that going. Tariq Adam here. Still holding down that top 4 spot. This is a driver to keep an eye out on. New into the ACC scene. Definitely got the pace to prove that he has what it takes. So looking forward to keeping an eye out on this young man. Johannes Grayling marginally up on his lap times. If he can find 0.2 of a second, he can contest JC Grabler. But, you know, when you get into this point in the quali, you feel like you're starting to tap out. Bruno Kadili, he's getting a good lap in here. He's finding a lot of pace, 0.4 up. Well, our timing sheet is going absolutely mad. It's definitely not 0.4 up. He is going to cross the line. I think it is slower than previously. It is. A 5.82 comes down. So the timing sheet's going a little bit mad into the final sector. Brian Lewis is up. Allegedly. 0.2 up here. And where will that get him? I mean, that can get him anywhere within the 6th to 9th position place at this point in time. So with 4 minutes to go on the clock, that's certainly a good place to be. JC Grabler up on his time, a 10th up. And a lot of time being made up into this double right-hander for a lot of these drivers. It seems that it's somewhere else in the lap that they are not managing to get it in. A lot of anti-cut curbs on the exit there. Going to compromise the exit speed coming down. Daniel Rowe, the man that we want to keep an eye out on, because he's the one trying to contest against Arne Visaki. He's dropped down into the 132s, a 132.901 and 132.955 for Daniel Rowe. So these two are flying with an extra bit of sauce in the cereal in the morning. Jason Absmeyer, Tariq Adam, JC Grabler. Nice little battle then from behind at the front of the grid, or the front row of the grid, from the wave of the green flags. Ricard van Coller, I see, has left his sandbagging team and joined up with the Retros, which is very much what I would have expected the progression to be. A lot of long-term partner driver with JC Grobler, and they did a lot of driving together, so good to see him joining into Retro. I mean, that's another driver going into their ranks. Plenty of drivers coming down for them. I mean, going down the order, let's try and show off the rest of the grid here. Johan Bego Grobler in 17th. 18th for Brandon Kruger. Both of them are trying to chase down some lap times, but look how much traffic they're finding themselves in. And very, very difficult for people to now get that focus in to get this final lap. So here we go, 2 minutes 45 on the clock. A final call for our drivers to depart the pits and make sure they've got a lap time in. I feel like if you haven't left the pits at this stage, you are pushing your luck just a little bit. You've got the time to do so. 1 minute and 30 is what it will take you to get round at race pace, but your outlap is a little bit more costly than that. So if you are out, you're going to have a chance to get in a good shot to another lap. 10th up for Jason Absmeyer coming down here. The number 45 needs to find this, needs to get this lap in. Coming up into some traffic as well. It is that first turn that we see. Again, big margin to be made up on. And Jason with a good run down to the exit. He is going to stay a 10th up here as he comes down into the braking zone. Daniel Rowe, he's also going up on his lap time, so we're going to keep an eye out on him. He's going to be coming into the final roundabouts of the opening lap, and Jason Absmeyer will be carrying on with that momentum. Still a 10th up here, and this potentially could catch up to Daniel Rowe then. But Daniel Rowe still making up time himself. It's going to be very close. Down the back stretch, out through the fast right-hander, and then down into the double braking zone. As you clear through the exit of the third sector. 2 more corners to go. Jason Absmeyer here has lost 700th here. His time is running away from him to make this up. Arno Visagi's going quicker, but Jason on that exit isn't going to get the exit that he wanted, isn't going to get it in, and is going to just throw it down for a little 360 spin on the exit there. Doesn't get that lap in, stays a 10th off of this man, Arno Visagi. Arno Visagi not wanting to settle for 132.9. Currently looking to chase down into the 132.7s. He's 2 tenths up on this lap, and he's going to be rounding this out. 22 seconds on the clock. Does he get to the line and get another lap in as well? 15 seconds to go. It's going to be close if he does want to. I mean, he's getting himself closer to half a second here in Delta time. Oh, that braking zone punished him quite hard, and he loses out on the exit. Stays 2 tenths up on the exit, approaching the final corner. And this could be a quick time coming out for Visagi. Is a valid lap so far. A 10th up on his time. Does he better it? A 132.805 is the final lap time for Arno Visagi. Daniel Rose stays in the pits. Jason Absmeyer also in the pits. Tariq Adam, he's in the pits. Janus Kraling, he's still out. He's going to cross the line now. Does he better his race start? He doesn't better his start. He does better his time. 133.453. Coming out for the Retro Slipstream Ferrari. Kieran Patterson rounding out the, or sitting in the top 10 in 9th place. Ahead of Bruno Cadili rounding things out there. They're going to both be sitting in the pits. Scrolling down, let's see if we've got anybody else coming down. That's the end of the session as Bernard King puts it into the wall for us. And we get to start heading over to our race session. So 2 minutes on the clock. Or 3 minutes for the drivers to get themselves set up and ready. We will be ready for our formation lap. I'll be with you guys in 35 seconds. Just getting a couple of frame drops. Loud and clear. We are back. Frame drops hopefully sorted. If they do come back, just let me know. Let's have a look at the full grid order here if we can. I mean, it's actually pretty impossible because there's so many drivers here. But let's see if I can just pull up the starting grid then. We'll pan through it from a helicopter perspective, I guess. The only way that I can show it without my drone cam set up. Arno Visaki then will start first on the front row alongside Daniel Rowe. He starts second then for GeForce Sim alongside, of course, Retro from Arno Visaki. Jason Absmeyer from Right Rabbit Gaming starts on the second row in third place alongside Tariq Adam from GeForce Sim Racing. On the third row, then Bernard Barkhazen lines up alongside JC Grobler in sixth place. Johannes Grayling starts seventh on the fourth row alongside Junior McCall from ATK. Kieran Patterson and Bruno Cadili round out the top 10, starting in 9th and 10th, respectively. PWSR versus WRG on the back row of the top 10. Sean Stradham starts in 11th, just outside the top 10. Dewald Null starts in 12th, so that's going to be Logistical Nightmare alongside Centurion Racing. Brian Lewis from Retro Neon alongside Charles Wilkin from Team Hulk start in 13th and 14th. The number 147 of Richard van Kaller for Retro Neon alongside Christian Deploy, who did tell me his new team name. It was Ladden, but it's not, and I've forgotten it, so I'll have to remember it. Johannes van Wyk for the BWR Vipers. He starts in 17th alongside Johan Bego Krobler from Resource Complete Team Try Hard Racing. Keegan Masters in 19th place alongside Brandon Kruger. So KSR versus G4 Sim for 19th and 20th. Victor de Kock for VK Motorsports in that number 90, starting in 21st place. Morgan McCaw all the way down the order. Did manage to get himself out of the top 30, but starts in 22nd for ATK. Tristan de Nobrega from EKZ. He's going to start in 23rd alongside Lionel Clue for BWR Vipers. Sean Skitter from BRS EKZ. He's going to start in 25th. Ryan Barrington Smith from Logistical Nightmare, Berries as he's known, in 26th place. Corne Strauss for EKZ BRS Yeet. He starts in 27th place alongside Eric Kirstein from CMR. 29th is another team, Try Hard Racing, Resource Complete car. That is Paul Gaber. That is a very beautiful Porsche as well. Black and orange, appealing to the young me for sure. Jason Isherwood starts behind, rounding out the top 30 for Retro Esports. That 433 Bentley, traditionally as picked out by Isherwood. Jason Gray in the 997 or the 977 starts for Retro Electro in 31st. Eugene van Lochenberg in 32nd place in his Bentley. Etienne Kleb from Amp to Play in 33rd. I know that Amp ZA will be cheering for Mr. Etienne Kleb indeed. Christopher Radloff has joined up with G4 Sim, and he is starting in 34th place. Ayrton from Zingerwing, my second favorite team name ever. He starts in 35th in that 516. Mark Antal for Retro Neon is starting in 36th place. 37th for Daniel De Villiers, and he's driving for After Hours in that 699. Chris Heineke from PWSR starts in 38th place. 39th for the Kinetic Sim Racing Prism Lamborghini of Bernard King. That 111. Chris DeVette for Kinetic Sim Racing Pulse starts in 40th. So teammates able to work from the back of the grid. And Kube, that 263 starts in 41st and 42nd for Bernard Peters, just in time for us to then head over to the front of our grid. A lap of Misano has been done. Can you believe how many cars are here, guys? An hour and 20 minutes on the clock. Raceface.Pro Season 5 in ACC GT3 is about to get underway. Round here at Misano, brought to you by TGN Racing Simulators. Statement Watches is live. Resource Complete, Black Ribbon Sim, and RCI all in partnership. A run down to the line for Daniel Rowe it is, as Arno Visaki gets absolutely blindsided by the run from the Bentley. That means Arno Visaki has to settle down for second, as Jason Absmeyer then will chase down onto Arno. He's got the pressure coming out from Tariq already, coming down into the braking zone. This is the danger zone as well, as we see a lot of drivers trying to give each other 2 cars worth of space at times. The left-hander also difficult to get out of, but it looks like a nice clean start from a lot of this grid. We need to see how everybody's exited as the timing sheet updates itself. And a lot of battles going to be coming down early on here. That Ferrari going up for the inside look. The number 33 here of Deervolt Null is trying to defend off. He's got himself a good start. Bruno Cadili has come down to 13th place after everything's settled out. So he's lost out quite hard. Brian Lewis is actually sitting in 13th. Bruno in 12th. But a big start coming out then from the top 10. The mid-pack. Absolute chaos as we come down the back stretch, and everybody trying to make space for one another and try and find a little bit of room, but it's crazy coming down. Up at the front, Tariq Adam putting a lot of pressure on the back of Jason Absmeyer. Jason trying to hold on to Arno, but Daniel Rowe benefiting the most out of this and starting to run away. We saw him do this when it came down to the 10 hours stints at the start. Jason with a big off, he's gone very wide, and he needs to make sure he can rejoin the track. He does, but he's going to lose a lot of positions coming down here. He's lost out to Tariq Adam, and JC Hrobler going to have a look to see if he can get past him as well. Now the Ferraris will dive down. Let's go on to the rear splitter here of Jason Absmeyer as he gets pressured out by JC Hrobler, coming down into the double right-hander now, and a defensive line having to be picked up. Very wide goes Jason, and JC tries to have a little look-see, can't quite get past and has to settle once again. But the flames coming out between these two drivers early on, and they need to be careful that they don't lose sight of the drivers in front of them. Adam gonna love the fact that he's now got some clean air to catch up to Visaki. We're gonna stick a little bit with this because JC Hrobler putting a lot of pressure and keeping it there on the back of the WRG Ferrari here into the braking zone on the right hander. Going to send it up the inside, and 2 cars wide they go. I think they're alongside one another. An overlap certainly going to come down. Jason alongside JC on the inside line. Going to have to settle down. Doesn't quite have the exit speed then, but will certainly be putting that pressure on. Look at this. JC going to go and have a look on the inside, and the tap does come in. It's not what we wanted to see. And the little look-see comes down. Jason spins off and will now need to rejoin the racing circuit here. Very unfortunate circumstance indeed. We'll have a little look back at that replay if we can. That will be available to us very shortly, I hope. Custom liveries and replays, I forgot, are not the greatest things, so this might not have been the greatest decision to try and see if we could get it. Unfortunate indeed, and will certainly be looked at by the stewards, I'm sure, post-race. But that has let the mid-pack kind of get spaced out between these leaders. Visaki leads out. Deervolt now putting pressure now onto the back of Bruno Cadili. The two 720Ss are dragging it out, trying to chase down. Junior McCall then is sitting in 7th place. Kieran with massive work coming down. He's got himself up into 5th place here. And a very nice clean start coming out for the PWSR team. And Kieran going to be loving the start that he's got out here. Not too much pressure yet coming out. He's got Junior McCall behind him, but a couple of car lengths behind, and that's not too bad. JC Hrobler on the back end then of Morgan now, as it looks like Morgan sitting in 11th place there. So Morgan also with a nice early start then for ATK, getting some consistency in. And that's going to allow Richard van Koller to close down the gap as well. So right now, a lot of pace being showed out then by JC Hrobler, catching up to the back end of Morgan McCall. Morgan just has to make sure he keeps his car nice and defensive. Very hard to overtake here at Misano. There's the pit window open, so just to highlight the pit mandatory requirements here. You do have to make a pit stop. You do have to change your tires. So a flat out sprint for 2 stages of this race. And it looks like this one is going to cool down just a little bit. Looks like Vincala putting teammate pressure on there gives the ease up on McCall. He's allowed to get himself a little bit more room. Victor de Kock, he's on the back end of Hannes van Wyk, half a second down between the two of them. Johannes Grayling putting pressure on Tristan here up the inside. He's going to go. Another contact going to come out between the two drivers. Well, not the two drivers, but we see another contact coming out. A little bit of rubbing is racing, though, coming down into that braking zone. And this is going to leave things open. Skitter then is going to see this opportunity. He's going to be looking to pounce if he can. On the back of Grayling, you can see he's gone very wide on the exit here. I'm pretty sure that Skitter is going to get the run down on that Ferrari. He is going to peel alongside. And I think the EKZ Black Ribbon Sims team gets a nice double move done there, as the attack was unfortunately not going to pan out for Grayling. Still going to put some pressure on. Still going to be wanting to chase down. And he's now got Jason Gray on his rear splitter as well. So very difficult. You try and make a move, and you leave a door open, and suddenly that gets closed pretty quickly. The whole of Amp to Play cheering for Etienne Kleb. Good to see Camo in the chat. Welcome. Thank you to everybody for joining us. Good to have you with us. Looking at this, JC Grobler then going to make that move alongside Morgan. That's going to open up the door for Richard as well. This is going to be a nice little double move coming out for the Retro boys. And that is going to send the Bentley very wide. Rejoining the circuit does get space made for him by Morgan there. And I think it has allowed Morgan to get through. It has indeed. So Morgan going to slot... Morgan going to allow Richard to slot back in there. And now Morgan under attack from behind. He's got the Bentley of Hannes van Wyk closing down on the 720S of Deploy. So again, needs to make sure he doesn't lose out 2 positions like he just lost on that previous corner, because that is going to be big. On Iwasaki, he's trying to close down onto Daniel Rowe, but not quite close enough there at the front. Looks like our closest battles between drivers at the moment are these little mid-pack battles, 14th and 15th. That Bentley of Van Wyk trying to close down. Looking down the order, let's just go and have a little look and see. Christopher Radloff up into 26th place. A drive-through penalty coming to Corne Strauss. So the 136 going to have to serve that out. That's not going to be good for him. Jason Isherwood also putting some pressure on here, as Christopher Radloff on the back end of De Villiers. Oh, Isherwood. Is it Isherwood in that Aston Martin? I called it a Bentley earlier, but it was. And I think that was going to be the number 89. I don't think we quite have the replay of that just yet. I think we do, actually. Let me just show you here. Again, we're going to go through a little bit of lag with our custom liveries that have come in, but hopefully it does load back into the incidents. A little tap sends him around, and that's unfortunate then, coming out for the number 89 of Christopher Radloff. Has to go into the pits then to repair some damage. Bruno Cadilli on the back end of Junior right now, putting a lot of pressure in this McLaren. Onto the splitter view we go. Junior McCall sitting in 6th place, and Patterson sitting 1.2 seconds ahead of these two. So Bruno needs to clear the traffic, or needs to decide if he needs to go into the pits. Having a look near the inside, Junior not leaving that door open enough for Bruno to get a nose in. A very defensive line being taken then by the youngster into the final corner. They go to round out their 5th lap. Or finish off their 6th lap, should I say. The patient game, GT3 Racing, waiting for the driver in front to make an error. Behind them, Diervald Null, he's feeling some pressure coming out from the logistical nightmare, number 194 of Sean Stradham. sitting in 9th place at the moment, and got the chase behind from Brian Lewis. He's less than a second down the road, so no room to make mistakes in this part of the circuit. Bruno Cadilli still putting lots of pressure onto the likes of Junior McCall. A good exit though comes the way of Junior. Gives him a couple of car lengths of space. Morgan on the back of Christian Deploy. Front end of Morgan's Mercedes very much battered as they come down into the right-hander. Trying to stay as inside as he can goes Morgan, but has to settle down. Mr. Sean Buck shouting for Logistical Nightmare, of course. Good to see the fans, the viewers, all supporting the drivers out here today. Morgan under pressure, then Van Veek behind. Doesn't look like he has the stability either in his Mercedes at this point, so Morgan needs to be careful at this point in the race. The Mercedes going to be disappointing our Mercedes fangirls out there, and certainly have an upsetting effect on the way that ATK wanted this opening round to go. I know that there's a push from them. I know that Junior has a lot of pressure on him coming into the season. He's, the team needs to have these two guys getting the results that they deserve. They can't be plagued with unlucky scenarios. And such a developing talent is Junior McCall. I love to watch his driving style. It feels like, he has on days, he has off days, but I think that's the nature of being young. Richard Herring in the chat from Black Ribbon Simulations and EKZ. Good to have you here as well. Good to have everybody here, really. Loving the start of this race. Still got a lot of racing to go. An hour and 7 minutes on the clock. We're pacing ourselves for what should be an interesting round. Side by side go... well, it looked like they were almost going to try and go side by side there indeed. But Sean Stratham thinks better of it. But putting a lot of pressure then on for Null. And LNR here sitting nicely up in the top 10. Like I've said before in all my streams, Logistical Nightmare coming out and driving in the PC sim racing side of things is big for us. I know that, a lot of sim racers from the PC side don't go out to the console side. But in the aim of getting esports to a point and league sim racing where we're racing with the best racers, we all have to kind of be on the same platform in the same sim. And at this point in sim racing for ACC, it's certainly the PC side that has a lot of that competitive nature. So good to see guys getting involved. And big shout out always to LNR. Lewis was part of the 10-hour team alongside JC Hrobler and Daniel Rowe. They had a massive disappointing finish there. And unfortunately, it came down to us losing a race against the EU counterparts. We had one EU team and they took the victory. It made me big sad inside. I had no power. I couldn't even be sad about it. I had to see everything post-race and catch up on chaos. It was sad to see. But Lewis here, another driver that just caught our eye in the last couple of seasons, getting some consistency in. It all comes down to that practice and consistency. And he's putting a lot of pressure onto the back end of Stratham as they come down into third last corner here. Penultimate corner, not really a place that you can get anything done. Neither is the final corner either. It's all about the exit down, then into turns 1, 2, 3, 4. Carry speed, put pressure, try and bully your way onto getting into the inside line. It means committing to trying to go around the outsides for turns 1, 2, and 3. So if you can go like round the outside here, set yourself up for the inside, then going down for the run. But it's all that sacrifice you have to make. You go wide there, you lose a place to the person behind you. Top 10 looking nuts. Let's look down. Hannes van Veek still putting pressure on onto the back of Morgan McCall, putting pressure alongside, almost coming down into the braking zone. Wants to try and get that inside line. Victor de Kock has a sniff and a whiff, and he sees that the battle in front of him will open up opportunities for his VK Motorsports 488. Tristan sitting down in 17th here, so leads ahead of Skitter. So teammates being able to work together. Jason Gray trying to get himself a little wiggly worm spot inside. He's looking very wiggly indeed coming out of the exit of the right-hander there. Left-hander, should I say. Mark Antol in 20th place. Not too much pressure, but Keegan Masters trying to close down. Hopefully see some more Keegan Masters improvements coming out throughout the season. We saw him in Season 4 just pick up and take off. It was absolutely massive. Jason, I know you're here, and it's sad panda time. I saw the first incident. I'm not sure what happened thereafter. I've tried to have a little look and see, but I saw the incident with JC Hrubler. But sad to have you in the chat here, Jason. Always a pity. Charles Wilkin in 22nd, so he's not really had the greatest of race starts for himself, but he's in a lot of clean air and a lot to still pick up from here. An hour of racing to go. PWSR, Keegan Sanderson shouting out. Clinton Rydell here as well, fellow White Rabbit Gaming homie and a friend of mine. So good to see you here, Clinton. Good to see a lot of you guys, man. I miss this stuff. I miss the streaming. I miss hanging out and broadcasting races. So looking down, Berries from Eleanor also putting some pressure on. You don't want to take this man on when it comes to anything on a dirt track. So if you are going to try and best him on ACC on PC. But it's commentator's curse. He has a bit of a contact. Shows us why he's got the dirt skills. So maybe a little bit of a segue coming out from that, but a sad one as he goes to the dirt. Nkube, he's going alongside Peters here. Into the braking zone. Porsche going to be bested on the outside. The 263 going to go quite wide and deep, but carries some momentum. The Porsche not really going to be able to answer back just yet. The braking zone comes down. Peters going to try with a little switch around. Is that going to work out? Could do. Don't think he's got the legs. Going to have to settle again. Behind Nkube. Thanks to the team livery name coming down here. So need to get familiar with some of the new team names coming through. Yeah, so unfortunate incident coming down. Some disappointment in the chat. As you guys know, White Rabbit Gaming is my team. I'm the principal there. I used to race, but now I pretty much just commentate and try and do as much promotion in sim racing as possible. But always sad to see your driver losing out. Versace alongside Rowe. This is going to be the lead of the race gone. I love it when my spidey sense tinkles, and I knew that Versace was having a sniff there. Does manage to take that into the braking zone. Let's have a little jump back of that replay if we can. Let's see if we can line that up. We will sacrifice the frozen stream due to liveries for the overtake of Arno Versace. There's the drag along as they come out. So it was the exit then before the back stretch. And that's it. Set yourself up for the inside line. Give each other space coming down. And very much was a gentlemanly drive coming out there from Daniel Rowe. Gave the space after he saw that there was enough overlap coming through. And Versace then takes the lead of the race with an hour to go. So good showing coming out from Mr. Arno Versace. Daniel Rowe not gonna let that just be done. He's gonna chase down. So let's follow along with a little bit of an onboard with these two. See how they track along. Catch up with our chat as we go. Very, very nice overtake coming down previously there. Daniel sitting a little bit. It's that exit, eh? He does struggle on the exit coming down there. Oh, a lot of lag coming out from, I think that was Bernard that's Bernard King, is not Bernard King. Peters is the driver that is currently lagging at the moment for me. We need to be careful that that driver doesn't interfere with us at any point. JC Hrabler under pressure, not from his teammate here. That's going to be deploy that he's gotten past. So JC gets himself up into 8th place. And a lot of race still to go here for these drivers. Wilkin in 17th here. On the back end of Gray. Masters behind him. So Nobrega is also just staying in this. He's very much in a good position to just wait this out. You go to his onboard. He sees 3 cars in front. All closing down. Just needs to make sure he can just hang on to the advantage he gets. He'll get slipstream advantage. You'll be able to read the line that the drivers in front are going to pick. So a very good place then for Tristan to be in. Berry's still putting some pressure on. Now going to go alongside the likes of King into the braking zone. The Lamborghini going to set himself up for a nice exit out of this, but certainly going to have a look. Looks like Berry's struggling to slow himself down a little bit. Ryan Barrington-Smith hot on the heels here, putting the pressure on. Now into the double right-hander. They're going to go onto the front splitter as we see the exit coming down. His rear splitter indicates that Nkube is there to snatch this away if the mistake is made. So Ryan needs to be careful that he doesn't let that slip out. Nice exit coming out then from Berries. And he's going to close up a couple of car lengths onto King. And now this is the back stretch. This is where you need to make it happen. Around the outside, he's going to try and carry some momentum through. Maybe get... no, he didn't cut back. It's actually cost him a little bit. I think a very complimentary exit came out for King. And that's going to just give him that space. Wilkin chasing down onto Gray. Half a second then going to come down as Gray on the back end here of... Oh, it's actually Gray on the back end of Wilkin. So Wilkin getting past Jason Gray on the exit of the previous lap. Richard van Kaller. He's lost his teammates a little bit here. He's just chasing around behind with Dewald Null. Christian Deploy in a bit of fresh air here for his McLaren team. And Hannes van Veek doing very much the same thing here. We saw a big charge coming out from the Bentley. That seems to have slowed down just a little bit. Looking at pit stops that have been served, we've got Morgan that's gone in. Christopher Radloff picking up a drive-through penalty, so that's going to be big for him. Kruger's been into the pits. Bego Krobler in, Kirstein in, Heineke Grayling. So it's Brandon Kruger trying to get past, it's for position on the back of Radloff. In the background, you see a couple of drivers also trying to make some moves past one another. Christopher Radloff goes defensive. Secures the inside line. And the chase down then will continue for those two drivers. Brandon Kruger, Jan Bego Krola, Eric Kirstein, they all still have some potential. Radloff into the pits, going to serve that drive-through penalty. That's quite big for him. I mean, a drive-through at this stage is going to put him down the order. Van Kaller also still keeping Null honest there, showing that he's kind of got the second sector, it looks like. It's all about this back stretch, I feel. You need to make sure you're getting the best exit out of there. This time around, Van Kaller will sit in the slipstream. So Vasaki still not able to quite pull away from Daniel at this point. Half a second between them, the last indicated time, but it's certainly getting closer. Coming down into that braking zone. Good exit coming out. There we go. That's where Vasaki really shows us his difference. It's actually 7/10 between them on the exit before they come down into the braking zone on the live updated timing split. And our grid settling itself down quite late here. I mean, an hour left to go into the race, 53 minutes to be specific. And we only now start to see a couple of these gaps get themselves, you know, a couple of car lengths between them. But before, it was just chaos. Left, right, and center. Cars on cars on cars. Some pit stop strategies, obviously going to separate a couple of these guys. And a bunch of the other drivers then going to decide how they want to respond, I suppose. Pit strategy is not really as much to play for here, as you've got the mandatory tire switch. So everybody's going to be going onto a new set of tires. You're going to be wanting to push as hard as possible. There's no conservative driving style, but so some blue flags going to be waved out, I'm sure. There we go. We see the blue flags coming down. That's Johan Bego Hrabler on the back end of Tristan. Also going to be a nice little... oh, that's going to be a tap. And that's not what you want to see into the braking zone. Oh, no. That is unfortunate coming down. That is unfortunate coming down. Let's try see if we have another replay of that. So that's the EKZ number 40 Mercedes that got tapped out there. The danger at Misano, man. This is the braking zone. This is where we've seen... oh, I mean, it's sad to see when drivers get impacted out. Bego Hrabler still continues out. No, Brega is sitting behind him. So it looks like Bego Hrabler did wait a little bit. I'm not sure. But it doesn't matter. Bego Hrabler's parked it into the wall. I mean, these are the moments that he's almost he almost beached it on the apex. Bego Hrabler getting caught out with his pants down there on the side of the road, and sometimes it happens. I catch some bad pit entries sometimes. Catch you playing in the sand. Catch you playing on the grass, trying to beat your car on the curb. But yeah, a bit of a rough race coming out then from Tristan, not going his way straight. I'm also struggling a little bit, says Sean. It's a tough one. It's a tough opener. Oh, bit of a tank slapper coming out then. So Tristan might also be suffering with a little bit of rear downforce issues right now. He did get tapped from behind and looked a little bit unsettled into that right-hander. But that will be Chris Heineke from PWSR behind in that 170 to put the pressure now on. And, oh no, it's happened again. Tristan has not... Guys, can we just get Fs in chat for Tristan, please? Like, this man, he's gonna carry on. But, I mean, can we just get Fs in chat here for Tristan? Fs in chat, please, for Tristan. So it is just not going well here for Tristan at all. Into the braking zone then for turn 2. And oh yeah, not quite sure if he thought that there wasn't a car there. Heineke saw an opportunity. Looked like he went for the inside apex, and it will be a very sad race then for the number 40, and down to 35 he rejoins the circuit. So not what you want to see. On the back end of Berries though is Heineke. He's making a charge here for PWSR. Some F's coming out. Thank you guys. Thanks for all the likes in the chat as well. Amp, you're not wrong. A little bit of some moves coming down. Don't think it's all dirty. I think it's a lot of guys just getting back used to the season, used to driving together. The stewards will sort it out. I don't think there's any intent between these drivers out here, but yeah, it's always sad. You see that moments like that, but it's racing. It is racing, and I don't think there's dirty driving. I just think at this point we've got a lot for the stewards to look into. And I have to say that impartially, I can't view incidents for more than 30 seconds that we get down here. So forgive me if we can't go through too much of them in detail, but we will get an outcome from the stewards post-race. Masters on the back of Ansel. While we talk about the stewarding side, we'll follow on this onboard. So yeah, I mean it's a difficult situation. I think a lot of nerves coming down into the opening round. I think that it's been a very busy start to the year for a lot of people, and time to just settle down, get back into the racing side of things, and get the cleanliness going. We saw with the 10 hour just how clean our drivers can be. It was a super race there. 45 drivers on the grid. It's massive. New entries. Give it a little bit of time. A couple of races in, everybody will be settled a little bit more. Join me for the adventure. We're here to love, learn, and enjoy. And hopefully, just continue to get some good racing. That's what we all signed up for. And Morgan McCall, he's not in this. It's Junior McCall that's going to be giving us some good racing here. Round the outside stays Junior. He sets himself nicely up for the next corner. He's thinking ahead here and forcing Richard to take the unideal line into the braking zone, though. He has to go defensive again. That backs the Bentley up, and that backs things up into null 2. So this works out for a lot of drivers in this situation. And Junior's just done a phenomenal job at just holding position and getting consistency in here. I mean, he hasn't buckled under nerves, and he's just been having solidly clean drive. So at this point in time, the ATK Academy number 185. I mean, I say all the numbers like they aren't going to be fixed correctly next time round, but they are. But for this time round, the 185, the viewers following in chat and not able to differentiate the cars. We'll just use the numbers that are here and the names. Ricard wants the inside line, but isn't quite close enough then, as Junior is allowed the freedom to defend coming down. Over eager driving. Camo, yes, that's true. Where's Ayrton? Ayrton is, he was down. Let me see where he is. He's down in 36. He hasn't had the best race coming down. Zinger Wings, number 516. He has got into the pits, so things are going to change up for a lot of these guys. So just remember, the guys in the pits will change up their positions. JC Krubler, for example, in the 321, he's gone early into the pits compared to a lot of the top 10. He's come out in 22nd. So at this point, he's gone into the pits. Lots of time to make up. Lap time wise, I can tell you he's doing 135.6 as his best lap. His last lap was an out lap after going in for his pits, I think. So we'll have to see where he starts to lap after that. No brakes, no problem. Use your mates as Brembros, all kinds of things. Incidents will occur, different cars, different lines, break points and all. Yeah, Sean, looking at it the way that I think holistically we have to approach leaks. 45 minutes to go in this race. Van Kalla continues to squeeze out that pressure onto the back of Junior. ATK versus Retro versus Diervolt Null from Centurion Racing. Don't think he has a teammate. I haven't seen another Centurion Racing car here. So for now, solo entry coming out for the team. Time to do a little bit of housekeeping as well. Just a big thank you to our sponsors, of course, Raceface, Speed Labs, TGN Racing Simulators, Statement Watches, Resource Complete, Black Ribbon Simulations, and of course our partnership over with the homies at RCI, Racing Club International. I do commentary for them, as well as we do a lot of planning for our events to make sure that we don't get clashes. We've got some cool plans coming up with a lot of the sim racing communities as well. Sim Race South Africa, going to be doing stuff with Raceface at some point when we decide on a date on things. I want to do a big EU, for best of EU, best of SA event as well at some point. Obviously, we've teased the 24-hour race, which is still going to come through. We're just waiting on some financial year ends for our sponsors to make sure that we can get that set up to be as big as we can. And honestly, we want that to be big. So if you are interested, a 24-hour race sounds interesting to you guys, and you want to get involved from a sponsorship point of view, please hit up Bertus Hugo from Raceface. We are looking for a bunch of broadcasters and commentators as well. We're looking to make sure that everybody gets a paid gig out of these kind of things. So please, if you are looking to get involved and help to grow sim racing from a perspective of helping people have careers coming out, and there'll be broadcast teams, hopefully 3-4 bunches of people that can all get paid to come out stewarding with a paid gig as well. So all of that, Richard van Kalla all over the back end then of Junior McCall, that continues out. We just stay with this while I plug away. And that's pretty much all I have to plug. Hopefully see you guys throughout the season. I'm going to be taking a bit of a hiatus from the commentary side of things whilst I get set up on my new adventure in life as I head over to the UK from March. So I'm looking forward to, onto the inside, looking forward to taking our sim racing flavor over to that side, and of course still being involved with everything we do here, just hoping to open more doors and continue to grow this wonderful hobby and meet and integrate with more people. It's pretty much the biggest goal for me, is to go over and give myself a chance at seeing what it's like, and hopefully get involved in some real life racing stuff on that side. There's a lot of opportunities that I would like to chase down, and yes, Lewis doing the same kind of chasing down onto the back of Victor de Cock, although that front end of that, the front end, the back end, Lewis has also certainly looked like he's had a bit of a difficult race if livery paint scratches are anything to go to. So Bruno going to go into the pits from 6th place. Null into the pits, Deploy into the pits. Versace and Rowe still continue out. A 1.1 second gap now between Versace and Rowe. I do like their liveries. That G4 Sim Racing got designed out by Yellow Designs. I really do. I do like them. They look cool. If you guys haven't got custom liveries, get some custom liveries. If you do have custom liveries that haven't been loaded in, make sure that they are submitted over to the Raceface portal so that I can pull those for next week's race. As far as I know, we've got 8 rounds of this going into the middle of March. There may be 1 or 2 broadcasts that don't get done by me, but I'll be here for as much as I can. So thank you guys once again for all the support and the love. 400 subscribers here on the Raceface channel. My name is George Smith, also known as GeeMax. I like my little alter ego, it helps me pretend to be cool on Twitter. I'm a broadcaster and commentator here for Raceface as well as RCI, and hoping that we can continue to just do as many of these events. Our 10-hour that we did on the weekend was really cool. Alan Patterson in the box with me, Stephen Koenig there. Anders van Veek. He's closing down onto the back of Van Kalla. It feels like that's been a bit of a narrative that these guys have played out together for a long time. Jan de Toy saying that he got TC'd from his gold div race. That's unfortunate, sir. You win some, you lose some, they say, and hopefully you get back up and running for the next one. Is Berry's on the back end of someone here? It is Kirstein. Kirstein in that Bentley then. Also been into the pits. Alinar on a bit of a charge. Feel like a lot of the Alinar team carry lying on Berry's shoulders at this point. Needs to try and continue to knock down those lap times, and he's got some good consistency coming out as well. Camo in the chat saying that happens when you get you get disqualified when you're doing mower racing. Definitely not mower racing. Game is very strict on track cuts, going the wrong way, speeding in the pits, not serving penalties, all of those things. It tries to regulate drivers as much as possible. So it is unfortunate, but it's part of racing. It's like a real life failure. Bruno Kadili here out in third place in the third place car of the lead as well. Daniel and Arno are going to go into the pits together, as Arno going to be leaving, Daniel going to be leaving. So it looked like good pit stops from both of them. Let's see what their total pit stop time was. Tarek Adam did a 126.3 pit stop, a 128.053 from Kieran Patterson for his pit stop. Bruno did a 123.053 as well. A 125.142 for JC Hrobler. Arno does a 121.5 as his pit stop time coming down. So the quickest pit stop of the field so far. Just quicker. Oh no, it's actually Dierwold Null. Dierwold Null down in 13th place. He's done a 121.3 as a pit stop. So Daniel Rose pit stop didn't actually show up in terms of the timing there, so I'm not sure as to what his actual pit stop time was. But now Bruno Kadili on the back end and the chase down for Kieran Patterson. PWSR versus WRG. The battle for 7th place. Bruno going to be trying to have a look for a way round at the number 15 of Patterson in front. Patterson going to be wanting to hold his defensive lines as much as possible. A nice exit coming out there from Kieran down the back stretch. Going to give him the car links that he needs. We see the likes of Rowe and Adam going past on screen as well. A couple car links then back for Bruno to make up. Vasaki is going to get himself back up into the lead of the race very shortly. Victor de Kock not yet gone in to serve his pit, so he does lead our race for VK Motorsport. Temporary glory is temporary, but it's great. You get featured, you read the race, you stayed out longest, and he is going to stay out the longest because Richard van Kalle, he's going to go into the pits. Let's see how this works out for him. Jason Gray into the pits. Bruno certainly looking to put some pressure onto Kieran, get himself past. But lap time wise, let's see. Kieran with a 134.209. Bruno with a 134.206. I mean, their best laps identical to one another. 134.3 coming out for Kieran last lap. 134.5 for Bruno. The 2/10 going the favor of that number 15 of Patterson from PWSR. Stop the race. Victor is leading. I know. Jason celebrating for his homie. Victor gets some glory on the stream. Kieran looks smoother from Keegan Sanderson. Definitely some smooth driving coming out from Kieran. Good driver. Yeah, number 90 in the lead. Like we said before, the race numbers all a little bit confused in the server today. Not helping with us being able to track with who's who in the zoo. It's been pretty crazy how many cars we've had here. 42 started, 37 remain. Some incidents, some occurrences, some sadness moments, some good overtakes, some brave overtakes, some bold braking maneuvers. We've had a bit of it all. So if you guys have enjoyed it, you can make sure you follow Raceface on those social medias. We try and post and update where and when the races are going down. Keep yourselves in touch. I think the closest battle really is these two. They are getting themselves closer together. Krayling is also getting into that. They're going to get let by the 111, who lets them continue with their own fight without getting involved. In Cube, closing down onto Krayling. Sort of in the mid phase of the track is where it shows the delta time. Krayling going quite wide there. Going to have to come back across the track. Cost himself a bit of time. Let's have a run through of our top 10 because, you know, Victor still hasn't got into the pits. He's got 28 minutes to still go into the pits if he wants. But Victor leads the race, although just in spirits, as he still has to go in to serve that stop. Visachi then will be our leader. Daniel Rowe in second place. Adam in third, rounding out the top three. Fourth for Patterson. Fifth for Kedili. Sixth for Krobler. Seventh for Barkhazen. Eighth for Null. Ninth for Deploy. And 10th for Junior McCall, rounding out the top 10. So Junior didn't seem to have the best pit stop there at all. He's lost himself a lot of track position. So that's very interesting indeed. Brian Lewis, he is putting pressure on that number 55 Bentley of Van Veek, trying to see if he can squeeze himself up towards the top 10. 30 minutes is a good time to still make some moves and make something happen. Chase the apexes, get the consistency in, not watch the mirrors, and just have faith in the setup. Easier said than done. Masters in the background there. Coming down, looking a little bit squigs coming down. It looks like Radloff is going to be that man getting pressure out from the likes of Jason Isherwood. So Radloff also had to go into the pits. He had to serve that drive-through penalty. And again, not just a race that went bad for some of us. It went bad for a lot of them. And for Jason Isherwood now, he just wants to get this retro number 433 up a little bit. I called it a Bentley earlier. It's definitely an Aston Martin. Oh, on the inside, he's going to go and try. Ooh, Jason Isherwood. I mean, I quite like that, eh? I'm not gonna lie. What's lekker, bro? Let's get a replay actually. No, but for real, Radloff leaves it a little bit wide, and I guess let's get Helicam. Let's just see into the braking zones. He gets kind of caught out on the right side. Oh yeah, oh, a little touch, but used the curb, got himself around. Jason. That was nice. I quite like that. I mean, you saw that Denobrega is really who caused Radloff to go quite wide there coming down. So he kind of got caught off guard. And oh, Isherwood looking squiggly in the background as he goes over the anti-cuts. Gets it back on track safely, but does lose out in terms of time. Oh, very wide. No, Tristan. Not what he needed there. EKZ loses out then as positions get switched up. And now they continue to just try and fight it out for some track position behind. Isherwood on the flashing lights of Denobrega. that Porsche of Antal is not in this fight at all. So Antal is not involved in this situation. Tristan going wide again. That's going to allow 2 cars wide. No. It's not gone well for Tristan there at all. Has gone well for Jason Isherwood though. He gets himself through. He can still continue to chase down. Christopher Radloff using a little bit of that advantage in getting a car length ahead. We see our leaders or cars in front of our other drivers getting space made for them. So always nice to see. JC Krobler sits in 7th place now. 2.5 seconds behind Bruno. 28 minutes to go. So even though JC with that spin-off in the collision with Jason Absmeyer earlier on, still managed to get the car out here. 7th place for him. So that's worked out for JC. Did have to make his way back through the field. Daniel De Villiers for after hours. He's putting pressure and I mean Morgan's had to go so defensive so often. He really hasn't had an easy bit of race. Lots of damage for Tristan. Yeah, that's what I figured. Richard in the chat letting me know. I guess just getting out of the way of other drivers so that he doesn't impact their race with an unstable car as well. It's a gentlemanly procedure and maneuver. Front splitter gang, let's go. Trailing on the back end of Kruger. Rear splitter gang, let's go. Look at that little Ferrari, 21st to 24th place. I think Skitter, as Mr. Sean Skitter disconnected, I think he might have. I know Strauss is down in 36th at the moment. I'm not sure where the rest of the EKZ team sits, but this is it. I mean, Radloff and Isherwood, they're still continuing to kick off here. As they make their way through the traffic. Some opportunities may still come their way for Isherwood. We saw him taking some opportunities earlier on. Krayling and Kruger. Also, 2 car lengths apart between the two of them out through the exit of the final corner to round out the end of lap 32 for them. 26 minutes on the clock. Race 1 here at Misano for the Raceface.Pro Season 5 ACC GT3 Championship. Jason Gray on the back end of Stradom. Also, closing down that gap. Sub half a second. And the logistical nightmare number 21. Defending off against the Retro... Is it Retro Neon? Retro Electro that Jason Gray drives for. 26 or 20 likes on our stream, so thank you guys for smashing that like button, hitting that subscribe if you haven't, turning the bell notifications on. We're here on Thursdays as well as Wednesdays, bringing you that GT3 action. There will be a changeover in commentary for the times that I'm not going to be available in the coming months, but when I'm back and set up, I'll be back over joining you guys for Raceface. So looking forward to getting that all set up. Let's just continue and see if Mr. Jason Gray can get past Stradom. Got the lap time advantages starting to peel in, starting to get a read on some lines as well. And going to be trying to... Oh, he's going to set himself up to have a look on the inside. Not going to be in the braking zone yet, so makes the wise call to just pedal back down. And the same thing here for Krayling and the back of Kruger. Let's see how they come into the same complex of corners. Krayling, of course, trying to ease his way past Kruger. So not going to be quite where he can, but does get himself nicely alongside for the exit out. Going to compromise his run down the straights a little bit. Has to quickly tuck back in. But Greiling definitely looking like within the next 24 minutes, he's going to be looking to make a move here. Gaba and McCall, they've all caught themselves up to one another. De Villiers in that 699. He's also there. So this is 19th, 20th, 18th, 19th, and 20th place. All full position. All have gone into the pits. So strategy-wise, they all equal. Victor did go into the pits, so Arno resumed the lead of the race for those that are following along for Arno's progress. Daniel Rowe in second, and Tariq Adam then sitting in third place. And what a massive, massive drive it's been for this man. I said it at the start. Got to keep an eye out for him, but currently sitting in third place. Pit stops all served up, and signed up to drive then with G4 Sim Racing. Ignites ZA coming out and putting in big performances. And I know him from the Monday Night Racing side of things. Joined up there a couple of times. I know him from Twitter. Cool to see him joining up with the team with such good drivers as well. And also just showing that he's got the ability to showcase what he can do. So I mean, behind him, that battle that he just flashed his way through. I mean, these drivers are still just going neck and neck together. Oh, inside lines opened up then from Greiling. Greiling going to take this. Oh, he's trying to do the little squeeze out, and Kruger's actually lost out too much to be able to come back across the racing line in time. Going to tuck himself. Look, we get to admire the carbon work on the Aston Martin. That's how close they're going to get themselves down onto the back stretch. In the slip then goes Kruger, but it is now settled behind the retro number 211 of Greiling. So Johannes Greiling sees that left-hander opening up opportunities, and not going to let that one slide. Well, Greiling now under the braking. Does he get... Oh, he outbrakes himself. So it's going to be... Sorry, it wasn't Greiling outbraking himself. It was Kruger coming in to outbrake himself. And Greiling reading it like he's read Harry Potter 100 times. And he knows all those spell names. Jason Gray still on the back end of that LNR Ferrari. Still not able to get past just yet. So you got to just say Stratum, although struggling at the starts, has been able to have a very nice defensive drive here against the likes of Jason Gray. Not easy to make up positions when you have to stay defensive, but you finish off the race feeling great. So we'll follow on board here with Jason Gray for a little bit, get a bit of an immersion lap going with some onboards. And just see what it's like, because he hasn't been able to get past. We'll crank up a little bit of the ACC volume here. 20 minutes to go on the clock. Let's see another lap round here with Jason Gray. Let's see if he can get the move done. I mean, those two just not making mistakes between the two of them, chasing down and really putting on a little bit of a spectacle together. McCall on the back end of Mr. Paul Haber there in that 178 for ATK. He's hanging on to that 634 from Team Tryhard. I do like their livery. I mean, you know, WRG cars have, you know, we love our camo. It's part of our logos as well. So any camo on a car. Can't even see that Porsche out there. That's the end of my dad jokes, so I won't make them again. Bruno's still on the back end of Kieran, it looks like. Still not able to get through. Also one for us to follow along with. Let's just kill some of these onboard sounds a tiny smidge. Some very nice racing. Very, very nice racing indeed. And let's enjoy some Kieran and Bruno to the same extent. Battle for 4th place that Kieran holds down. PWSR sitting up here, representing out. And behind them, that's JC Krobler. Is it? No, it's not. It's not. Okay, so JC Krobler's down the road. That's a 211 of Johannes Grayling behind them. Thought we might have a little three-way battle then for P4, but that's not going to be the case. Into the right-hander. Kieran just doing a great job at staying out of arm's reach of Bruno. Deploy is all over the back end of Junior McCall as well. Again, this is the part of the track. You've carried a lot of momentum. Oh, very defensive coming out is Junior. Blocks off any opportunities. Slams the door. And Deploy has to chase down once again. But it is Bruno now trying to have a little bit of a look. Good run coming down. Kieran going to go defensive on the inside. Bruno going to try with a cutback, forcing Kieran to go very wide. Kieran catching a lot of curb as well coming through, but manages to stay stable. A lot of anti-cuts being used on the exit there as well, but Kieran does maintain that race position, staying ahead then of Bruno. And a knife fight coming down to the line between PWSR and WRG. Wide then again goes Kieran, just trying to carry as much momentum as he can. And certainly kept Bruno off him before the entry to the back stretch here. That's going to be enough, I think, to stay ahead into the braking zone to close out the lap. Brilliant bit of driving then from Kieran to keep control of his car. Could have gone terribly wrong, and very good bit of driving to keep it off after going through the curbs and the dirt. I've been there. It's scary. Kirstein on the back end of Tina and Cube. The Tinks 2A team. Like I said before, gotta just recap and check with them. Oh, alongside now into the braking zone. Oh, they do get through. Kirstein slides through, gets the car slowed down again. Is it enough? Not going to be able to fight back is Nkube just yet there. And that's the Lexus of, I believe, Wilkin sliding through them. Isherwood on the back end of Radloff still. These two still continues. That's also been a nice little 1-2 battle that hasn't quite yielded any changeovers. A lot of pressure being put on from Isherwood now. And this is really where you do need to push. 12 minutes to go. That closing 10 minutes looms. Jason Gray on the back end of Morgan McCall. He's gotten past Stratum, so that's a good bit of driving from Jason Gray. Up on the inside then, he's going to set himself for the exit. around the outside of the first part of the corner. On the inside then clear of... Whoa, Jason Gray. What a move coming out there. Left Morgan McCall hanging like the washing. And it's still raining, so it's never going to dry. Stratum wanting to follow suit, keeping that pressure on the back end of McCall. That was a filthy bit of driving, Jason Gray. I like it. I like it. The Retro boys pulling out some bold moves, really overtaking wise, and I certainly approve. Oh, all over the back end of McCall is Sean Stratum. Logistical nightmare wanting to take this P20 off of ATK for sure. It'll be a very, very nice position to take. So Stratum keeping the pressure on. You saw where Gray made that move before. I wonder if he doesn't try the same thing. Bully McCall out of position down the start-finish straight, set him up badly into T1 and rob him before the kinky bits. QQ loves a good three-way. I also love a good three-way. Good to have you here, Ian. Nice to have you. Long time no speak. I'll even, QQ gets a definite face cam viewing coming through. So thanks for everybody. Thanks for everything. I'm actually learning Afrikaans, and I sometimes switch into it. But Stratum, an absolute bully on the circuit at this point. Morgan has nowhere to go but to go defensive, and that's going to benefit Gray. He's gonna be able to clear Morgan and then not have to worry about defending it. Stratum. The two of them were to and fro for 4 or 5 laps, and that's down in P20. Down in P33 and P31, Nkube and Ayrton are having their own scraps. And right here, this has been a long time brewing. Bruno Kadili and Kieran Patterson, they still looking to see where this one's going to end up. Bruno not yet finding that sliver of hope at all. It's just been Kieran staying one step ahead and Bruno having to react. So really nice drive between these two and a good battle on track. That's what I sign up for when broadcasting these races. Up at the front, Versace doing his own thing. A second up the road of Daniel Rose. So really not bad from Daniel to come up. 1.9 seconds, should I say. So great from Daniel to still continue with his pace. A lot of traffic that they've had to deal with. Misano is a short track and has still been able to still see Versace. Hasn't let him run 11 seconds up the road. And then, of course, Tariq Adam, another G4 Sim. G4 Sim 2-3 will be coming down. He's got himself up into P3. I think it's his first race coming out in Pro. I know that I've talked about him couple of times, but certainly keep an eye out on him coming into this and getting a P3. That's going to be something to only look to improve from. So hoping to see Adam picking up a race victory at some point in the season. Versace, a name that has picked up a couple of race wins already. Oh, a tap comes down, and the two of them, let's get a little replay of that for sure. Bruno and Kieran coming into contact with one another. We have to risk the frozen custom liveries. Let's get a little helicam action coming down into this. This is the left-hander braking zone. Oh, I think Bruno comes down onto Kieran a little bit there for sure, in my opinion. Not sure that Not sure that I can get away with that one as completely faultless. Stewards are going to look into these ones as well, for sure, post-race. Kieran then in 5th place under pressure. Not yet from JC Grobler. He's still down the road, so that's trailing behind him. You can see JC Grobler, though, now going to be on the charge. 7 minutes to go. But Sean Stradham still on the back of McCall. Look how far ahead Jason Gray has managed to get of these guys. 3.7 seconds it has cost Stradham getting stuck out behind McCall. So important to try and find your way through cars that are bottling you up and slowing you down. And for Alan here, feeling that a little bit out behind the ATK Mercedes. Victor de Kock, he sits in P15 on the back end of Mark Ansel there, so that's also a good performance coming out then from Victor. He did at one stage lead the race when everyone had gone into the pits, so going for a little bit of a longer pit stint. A minute left on that pit window, and everyone has already gone into the pits, so no late pit stops will come out. Masters on the back of Vincala. That's certainly closing down really quickly. 2 tenths between them on the live timings. And into the braking zone. That Bentley looking a little bit loose on the back end. And Keegan Masters looking to see if he can contribute a couple more points up onto the board. Also a G4 Sim driver. As far as I understand, Rowe and Masters are teammates. And then Adam and his teammates, and there's 2 G4 Sim teams. I did also get told this, but I didn't quite get it right. So, you know, next week we have things to work on. Make sure we get all the teams and their drivers correctly, you know, in the knowledge base. It does take a couple of races into the season. Masters, oh, I mean, he is putting a lot of pressure onto Richards. Officially our pit window closes. Doesn't really cost anybody anything. Oh, Victor trying to have a move here on the inside into the braking zone, into the left-hander. Going to be left that wide open. Ansel going to try and cut himself back, but the Ferrari with a nice exit. Going to set himself up to defend into the next corner. Does have the car length ahead. Gets the car turned around. And it looks like Victor gets that one wrapped up. P14 goes the way of Victor de Kock. Mark Ansel in the slip, though, down the back stretch. Does he fire something back into the braking zone for the next 2 right-handers? I don't think he's quite in a position to have a look. So nicely done there from Victor de Kock. Masters is still trying to get past Vincala. 4 minutes left on the clock. Our leaders are not in any sort of positional battle. It is really all of these guys. Masters, Ansel, Gabbers also closing down on the back of De Villiers here. And this is a very, very last-minute charge coming out from the team Try Hard Racing Resource Complete 634. Really only has 2 or so laps to get this dialed in, so going to be turned up all the way. Hopefully everybody's managed to fuel these cars. Look at this little bunch of fun. It's going to be it's still going to be straight, and we still can't get past McCall. McCall making it so difficult for him to try and squeeze his way through. Not going to be able to just yet. 3 minutes to go before we crown our first winner of the opening round here in Season 5. I don't even know how many seasons there are of Game of Thrones, but we're way cooler than Game of Thrones. I didn't watch it, so that already makes me cooler than Game of Thrones. Straight, is this going to be it? He's so close, he's tight, he's bunched up. But that double right-hander just really, really makes it so hard. even if you get everything right and the driver in front makes the mistake. De Villiers still trying to hold off and doing a good job at doing so. Big fat Logitech G sponsorship coming up. So, I mean, you know, that works out for me. Oh, he's gone too wide. That's it. It's a gift. De Villiers under pressure. Cracks like an egg. Coming down into that in Gaba. Gaba will love that little change of events. It's all about the points. Get what you can coming through. Masters still putting that pressure on. This is now where it needs to happen. 2 minutes to go on the race. This is where we have to follow and see what transpires. Wide goes Masters on the exit over the anti-cuts coming down. That Bentley in sight. And P12 can be tasted into the braking zone, carrying a lot of momentum through, but has to slow himself down as the slow Bentley exit comes down. The 147 in a perfect position to not let Masters use that momentum through the left-hander. Onto the back stretch, tucked right up behind is Masters. Is he going to have a little look into the braking zone? It's now really or never that he needs to try and seize a couple of cars linked too far behind, I would feel, to go in for a break unless a massive gap gets left open. But it's not going to be the case. Does tighten it up. The 147 goes for the inside line. Look at Masters getting so close to the back end there of Van Kala. A little I love you kiss kiss going to come through between the two of them. And the drag down. 58 seconds on the clock now. Close battles here. Eric Kirste in a battle on the back end of Christopher Radloff. It looks like Radloff going very slow in the background there. He's just letting drivers through. So Isherwood getting through that. Up at the front, drive-through coming out for Gaba. So everything changes up now. Gaba loses that advantage entirely. He's going to get that drive-through penalty. Gray on the back end of De Villiers, trying to see if he can squeeze his way through. No, the pressure. He gets a little tap. Lets the 699 save himself. That's just going to back everybody up. Leader goes on to the final lap. This is a dash down to the line. The 699, Jason Gray. And then behind them, I believe that would be Christopher Radloff, who... no, that's not Christopher Radloff behind them. That's another Audi that's coming down. Jason Gray trying to set something up. Switches himself onto the inside. Not going to be able to get himself alongside like he did on Morgan McCall earlier on. But still putting a lot of pressure on. The 699 looking like it's got a little bit of netcode issues at this point. You don't want to follow too closely, I guess, at that point. And for Jason Gray, doesn't really have a choice. Needs to try, needs to follow, and needs to make sure he doesn't come into contact with that car. Masters still on the back end of Van Kala. So we're just going to have to dive in between all these different battles coming down. Arno Vasaki is on the back start-finish straight, so we'll on the back stretch coming up to the start-finish straight. So we'll keep in touch with all of these coming down. But yeah, Masters, he's now entering that very last opportunity that he can get. Last lap for him to try and get something done. On the back end of Van Kala, Arno Vasaki, our race leader, will be coming up to the line very shortly. Here we go then on board, looking at Arno Vasaki for Retro Rainbow. The number 13 will come over the final corner, take the victory here in the opening round for Retro Rainbow. And a solid victory indeed. Daniel Rowe then takes home second. But before we round that up, let's just see if Masters manages to get anything done here on the back end of Van Kala. They are so close. Masters trying to have a look, trying to see. It's going to be Jason Gray chasing down to the line as well. De Villiers and Gray cross the line in 17th and 18th. So that wraps up that battle. But does Masters and does Van Kala, does that position change up here? On the back wing then of Van Kala, as we come down into the final back corners, Bruno and Adam will cross the line. Third place goes to Adam. I don't think that these two are going to change up, but it is our closest battle between the two for position. Oh, it's so close. Keegan trying to have a look, trying to get the squeeze, but I think that Van Kala just has what it is, has enough to hold this off. The drag now down to the line. This is going to go across almost side by side. They will go over the line. Van Kala and Masters, less than 300ths separate them. So let's run through this. Up at the front end of things, Tariq Adam takes home 3rd place in his first pro tier race. Bruno Kadili in 4th. Kieran Patterson for PWSR in 5th. 6th place to JC Hrobler. 7th to Bernard Barkhays, and 8th to Devalt Null. Gina McCall takes home 9th. 10th to Christian Deploy. And a bunch of drivers, really. Let me try and pull this up and scroll through what we've got. Van Veek, Van Kalla, Masters, De Kock, Antel, Wilkin, De Villiers, Gray, Grayling, Gaber, Barrington Smith, Kleb, King, Heineke, Isherwood, Kirstein, and Kubek, Kruger, Strauss, Ayrton, whose surname I can just never get right, Bego Krobler, Van Lacherenberg, and Dino Brega are going to round out everybody that finished here today. A massive first round, and a big congratulations must be extended out to all of our drivers, our race winners for sure. I know that next week we will be back on Thursday. That is for certain. Can guarantee that one. What other housekeeping? Speed Labs, RCI Resource Complete. Of course, TGN Simulators. And everybody that came through to the stream to join in. You guys have been awesome. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. Race results will be posted over to Discord. Incidents and things will be finalized with stewards and applied. My cat is coming up the stairs to say what's up as well and goodbye. Say goodbye, stream. Bye, stream.